Would like to welcome everyone here. Thank you for coming to our board meeting. We're glad you're here, and if anyone would like to address the board with any comments, now is the time. Okay. Can't see any comments, we'll move forward. And I'll turn it over to our superintendent highlights with the Bronson Eagles.
Yes, ma'am. So we continue celebrating. So Bronson Middle High School had homecoming last week. So someone at the guys had their 30th class reunion. I won't name names or so, but I do identify with that. We got Miss Bray here. So we're in the midst of royalty. So her son was crowned homecoming king. So and we have Miss Margaret here. So and they're going to come forward and talk to us about Bronson Middle High School Eagle 101. So before Miss Bray.
So just some background knowledge as to what we did. Sixth grade, we had to get creative. We had some units that were moved. So what we did is we made a history and a science class at True Block, where they take one semester and one the other. And then we have intensive reading and intensive math block. And so that left us one extra regular period, which is kind of equivalent to the rest of the 50 minutes. And so we had talked to Tanya about something. We said, you know, sixth graders, when they transferred over to middle school, that they struggled with the organization, they struggled with the transition. You know, for us, what we're preparing the students for is for graduation and for future careers. So what we wanted to do was do our little sixth grade academy, and at the end of each day, we have 3 sixth grade teachers, and so all of the students are divided amongst those 3 teachers at the end of the day, and we do what's called our Eagles 101. It's kind of like an added class for sixth grade. We actually presented this at our SAC meeting last night, and we're going to kind of present that to you today, but I want to give you a little bit of background as to what we are doing, so go ahead. Michelle.
So the AVID advisory class is aligned with the goals and ideals of AVID, and it's preparing students for college and career success, and we're trying with our sixth graders to give them the support they need for success, whether it's at a college or a technical school or even just for careers. That's our main why, and it gives them an opportunity to support us, an opportunity to support our AVID site goal, which is our interactive notebooks. On Fridays, they go through and they organize and they have checks for accountability on those notebooks.
So, you know, just, we've kind of put the AVID triangle there looking at it. We want our kids to be academically prepared. We want them to have opportunities for knowledge, because over the years we realized that a lot of our students hardly have been out of Levy County. So in this class, we do focus on a lot of careers because there is more than just Levy County. So we're opening them to new opportunities that they can, you know, better themselves, they can move out, they can do lots of careers, and we're trying to make them ready. Because they don't always get a lot of parental support in exploring new options. They think, oh, we'll just work at the grocery store, work at Dollar General, you know, those kind of things like their parents do. So trying to expand their horizon on what opportunities are out there. Go ahead.
So when Tanya came at the beginning of the school year and trained our teachers, our sixth grade teachers, on how to implement Equals 101, or it sort of aligns with what an AVID elective would do, just on a much lower scale, but she had them think about their limitless opportunities.
Let's think. Here, please do. Let me get this.
Thank you. So the first thing she did was have them reflect on what their goal for limitless opportunities for their students would be this year. AVID promotes goal setting with students, and I think what she did was really important because we got us as teachers and educators reflecting on what we wanted to get out of it for our students.
So one of the ways that they were doing this, we're not doing the timer, is we're trying to incorporate all the AVID strategies. So part of the things is when they're doing this, just kind of a sample activity, is talk about limitness. They did a quick write. They introduced themselves. talked about what they do at the different schools. Part of it is the teacher too, you know, our teachers are not just our teachers. They're our coaches, they're our club sponsors, you know, they may do something in the community. So talking to the students about how that teacher is a well-rounded teacher and how portraying that to students also that, you know, you don't just come to school and go home. You know, it's really important to expand, join clubs, do athletic events, all those kind of things, just to, you know, give yourself those more opportunities.
So this is an example of a weekly lesson plan that the teachers use. It's very much set up on a schedule to where Mondays they work primarily with their grades and GPAs. They've learned how to calculate those and monitor their grades. They set goals. And on Tuesdays, they're doing a book study. For our school improvement plan, we wanted to support literacy school-wide. So in our English and reading classes, all of our students are reading either a class novel or a library checkout. Well, our sixth graders are doing this as well in their Eagles 101 class with doing a class book study. Wednesdays, they focus on careers and researching and discussing what it takes for certain careers, not just, you know, what different careers are, but trying to align it and reflect with themselves on what career would most closely align to their interests and success. And then on Thursdays, we've been focusing on focused note-taking with them and supporting them in learning to take notes in class. And they're doing collaborative study groups where they can work together and help solve concerns or confusion that they may have in their academic classes. And then Fridays, some Fridays they organize notebooks and catch up on their reading. They do interactive notebook checks, and then they do on a few of the Fridays like a fun Friday to build relational capacity, so they have that adult that they can go to on campus to get help and feel comfortable with.
So this is just another example. The one you first saw was at the very beginning of the year. So we're just kind of showing you this was 10-3 to 10-7, just kind of showing you how we have that continuity throughout the whole entire semester. So again, SMART goals, looking at journals, careers, collaborative study groups, and then their interactive notebooks, and incorporating a little bit of reading from the book study. So just showing you how it's still doing the same kind of thing in October. Go ahead.
This is a sample set of notes they took. They were focusing on how can I better understand myself to help guide me to a career. I think this is important in helping students discover, you know, what career best fits them.
So these are just some of the objectives. So if it was a career goal kind of exploration, just understanding the importance of career preparedness. You know, what kind of things do they need to work on, what classes they need to start taking in high school, like if they want to go into some kind of engineering field, understanding that you need to make sure you have those upper math and upper sciences. So we're starting here in 6th grade to start building those career goals. So as they're transitioning, we know middle school is a lot of exploring different electives. And then when they get into, you know, 8th and 9th grade, they can really hone into if they're more into gaming or computers or ag or carpentry, they get to move into those things. So this is just further preparing them, and this is just kind of how the objectives are set up for the day.
This is a sample lesson that they did for careers in the future, giving them a critical reading link, a link to be able to do a critical reading activity and a writing assignment and class activity that went along with it.
So that's just kind of a quick little overview and summary as to what we're doing for Eagles 101. The kids really like it. You know, it's great to walk in a 6th grade classroom, and all 3 of the classrooms, they're all reading books, they're all, you know, looking at careers, they're marking text, doing all the things that we want them to do. So hopefully as they move into those upper level grades, they have that foundation. Because a lot of times AVID classes start in the high school courses. So those middle schoolers are sitting out there and all of a sudden they get all these expectations in high school. And so trying to build that capacity where it starts in middle school. Thank you.
Amy, is this the first year that they are doing this?
Yes, Tanya has been instrumental in helping us. We're kind of the pilot for this. So she actually helps build our kind of weekly agendas, and they're shared amongst all the teachers. We use our little Google Space. And so they're in there, and we actually have a couple of 7th grade elective classes that are using it too. So we're kind of piloting it, so hopefully next year, it might be something we could use district-wide.
And is it all the 6th graders?
Yes.
Well, that's great. It sounds like a wonderful program. Thank you. Is there any other questions?
I want to say I like the 6th graders with a teacher guidance getting into Skyward and having them look at their grades and, actually seeing their grade instead of moms
It took a little time to get
and
all that
dads
set up.
doing the Skyward check at that age. I mean, 6th grade is, but they should see it, they should understand it.
Promotes self-advocacy too, at a young age to where they can.
Because in elementary school, they do not have that access. And so getting them over here, it took some time to get all that access changed so they can actually get on and get their own logins. But we did get all that taken care of for the 6th graders.
Great, thank you. All right, thank you very much for presenting that. At this time, we'll move over to agenda item number 6. Ms. Hanlon for school improvement plans.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I come to you today for our annual approval of our school improvement plans for the schools in our district. I just want to give you a little background. On July 25th, we met as a district admin workshop, and we started our SIP work there, doing some data analysis from our state assessments last year and our district assessments as well. And then we came together and provided all the schools, it was a tight squeeze, but we all made it in here, with our school improvement teams, basically our lead teams, to work through the plans within the school improvement plan to create goals that they feel like they could accomplish and actions to go with those goals to improve their student achievement. So they put in a lot of hard work, and then the district instructional team, we review all of the school improvement plans, provide them with any feedback, they make any edits that we ask for, and then they submit their final plans. So I will say this was a good year as far as in the review process, because we put a lot of work into the plans ahead of time. So I believe that you've all had time to read over your school improvement plans for your area schools, and at this time I'm asking for approval, board approval for the school improvement plans.
Ms. Ward, do you have any questions?
Does the DAC still individually go over those, when you have a representative, does that still happen?
The DAC was opened up this year to, we invited everybody, because before we used to try to say, hey, could you get somebody from each school? Well, we wanted it, that was not producing a good amount of people still. So we put it out to everybody. We don't specifically go over each individual school improvement plans. We talk about the purpose of them, and then we talk about whether they go to their school advisory council meetings to provide input into the school improvement plans for those schools.
Thank you.
Mr. Asper, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We'll go to item number 7, our legislative platform, Mr. Superintendent.
You'll see here in front of you, so Ms. Boyle has what FSBA's, so state legislative and federal legislative platform. So I was going to give her an opportunity to kind of share with you all the meetings that she went to. So
Well, we have 2 separate meetings, of course, one for the federal and one for the legislative. And they just bring all different, of course, board members that are part of FSBA and go through what do you think needs to be added, maybe deleted, what do you think would be something good that's brought to Tallahassee so it doesn't seem as though you're attacking per se someone that you might not agree with, but you're kind of getting on the same level of let's have a dialogue about each item that you see here. So that's where it is right now. I received these yesterday from Dr. Thomas from the FSBA. And this is their wordsmithed platform, the feedback that they've gotten from the other school board members. Some lobbyists were in with the collaboration on all this too, to give their feedback. And of course, Dr. Kim from Gray Robinson, she was at both of the meetings. And they're the same topics that I presented at the last meeting, but now here is the actual verbiage that they want to move forward with when they present in Tallahassee.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
So this will give you an opportunity, so board members, what thought would be a good moving process. So it seems how the session is a little bit later. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to finalize our platform on November 22nd, which would also give our new board member an opportunity to share his thoughts. So as he's been attending our board meetings, so he can feel free to email me any comments he may have on our platforms. So the November 22nd meeting, we'll finalize that platform to move forward, so your platform.
Thank you very much, Mr. Howard. I think that's a great idea. We can move forward and I'll have a chance and opportunity to look at that.
And I have a copy from Mr. Whitehurst too.
Okay, great. Are there any changes to our minutes?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, I need a motion to approve our minutes for the October 11th meeting.
Move approval.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Our consent agenda, are there any changes?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay. I think we've all had a chance to look at that and ask any questions. Mr. Askell, do you have any questions you'd like to?
No, ma'am. Mine were all answered by the superintendent.
Thank you. Ms. Boyle?
I spoke to the superintendent yesterday and all that was gone through, so all my questions were answered, Madam Chair.
Thank you, and I do appreciate Mr. Coward always getting in touch with us and asking so that we can have that opportunity to discuss, and my questions have been answered too.
Madam Chair, there is one, so Ms. Boyle, and with everything that went on this morning, so I didn't get a chance to talk. So on number 2, on FMLA number 2, we just need to change that to the 2023, so again.
Thank you. I just clicked on it.
But other than that, that's the only thing, so everything else is intact.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
With that change in the family medical leave.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Mr. Superintendent, any comments?
We need to do the consent findings, so it's an important one. So we need to approve that, so.
Okay. All right, do I hear a motion to approve the finance?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved for the finance consent agenda. Thank you. Mr. Superintendent, any comments?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be brief. I know it's been a long morning, so just want to share that we have numerous groups headed to National Convention, FFA. So we've had homecomings and we've had some small things here and there, so which maybe is a big thing. So with Chiefland, but I'm really proud of each school that in education, as you have hurdles, we survive and we adapt. So I just want to give kudos to those schools for trying to do everything in their power when other adults that make decisions that take it out of and end up penalizing students. It was unfortunate what happened at Chiefland, so a game that was scheduled in the summertime, and then to be almost strong-armed and extorted to the point that the school wanted $5,000 that they would then come. So just want to put that on the record that we'll make sure that we never ever schedule Zarephath Academy, and very disappointed that a school of that nature would handle their business the way that they handle their business. So But kudos, so to Bronson, had a great homecoming last weekend, so, and appreciate all the schools, what they do through what, and the work that they do, so. I know as we start heading into the holidays, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that our staffs do, whether it may be providing Thanksgiving dinner, so packets for families, so whether it may be providing gifts for students, so just, I'm very, very appreciative. And then obviously on Saturday nights, the gala went very, very well, and we had the opportunity to announce our Teacher of the Year, and I will give Mr. Asbell the opportunity to share so during his comments about his Teacher of the Year who's at one of his schools. So, but she's a lady that's worked up through the ranks, so well deserving. And it was unfortunate our SRE of the Year took ill and couldn't make it. So, but Miss Karen Warren, so is a great bus driver. So for Mr. Masters, and she was recognized by the panel of judges for her ability and her employment history. So, and with that.
Thank you very much for those comments. Mr. Asble?
Like Mr. Coward said, Bronson Elementary School has the Teacher of the Year, and Miss Robin. She is a great story for other teachers. Started out volunteering, becoming a pre-K teacher, finished up school, became a teacher, and has done obviously a fantastic job. She was one of my child's pre-K teachers. She survived him, and I knew that she would be good. Congratulations to her. Also, it's nice having Mrs. Bray, Miss Barber here today. You know why that'll be, I really hate that Mr. Etheridge is not here, but you know why that presentation was so good and why it's going to go so well, because it came from Bronson. And our principal, like one of our former principals, is a graduate of Bronson. So anytime when we have all these Bronson people in charge, you know it's going to go quite well. Mr. Whitehurst, when you take office, I expect you to understand how good Bronson is because you're married to a Bronson girl. Hence, I know you'll do good. The Williston, not so much, but the Bronson connection, you'll be fine. As we move into what we like to call the holiday season, we're fixing to go through Halloween, and then we go into Thanksgiving and Christmas. Please keep in mind that our schools will have backpack programs, send food home, presents. We are very blessed. Everybody in this room is pretty blessed. There are a lot of people in our county, whatever town you're from, there's always people that not so blessed. Let's keep those folks in mind. So when you hear of those schools doing those drives and all that, please support that and try and help those. I know in Bronson we have kids that the last hot meal they get is when they leave Bronson on that Friday before Thanksgiving, not until they get back. So, and that's sad for a kid to have to go through that. So any of those backpack programs or take home food programs, I encourage you to participate in. And I appreciate our schools doing that. A lot of people don't realize it, but the hometown schools are the backbone of the town. And I feel sorry for those other districts that don't have schools in every individual district. They don't know what they're missing, and I'm thrilled that we have that still. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asble. Ms. Boyle?
Just to roll off of that into areas of the hurricane too, I just want to say that I appreciate the students that from the SGA in our schools that are stepping up and they're still collecting food and they're still collecting supplies and they're having it shipped south. I know there's a couple school board members that I've been in training with since day one that were hit very hard, and at the last meeting to listen to them speak about what they were going through and what they're, some don't, there's no district even, there's no district office left. So it's nice to see us and our kids putting forth an effort and kind of understanding what they're going through. On a brighter note, the Seafood Festival, have to mention that in Cedar Key, that was a success. I know Mr. Cowart wrapped probably over 100 hamburgers, cheeseburgers. But I know that they did very well, all the clubs did very well, and it was just beautiful weather. It was great to attend the gala on a professional and personal level, because this year my son attended with us, and that was really nice to see him a part of that. And I just see him as an upcoming community member, and it's kind of nice to see that, because I know that the teachers and coaches were part of who he is today. And that's really, really nice to see. And Cedar Key Quickly Fall Festival that they have will be November 4th from 5 to 7. And they're gearing up for basketball, which the first game is here against Chiefland on November 15th. So looking forward to basketball season as well. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. I would like to apologize to the board and that I was not able to attend the gala. I think probably it's the first one I've missed, but it's always such a nice event, and I appreciate all the effort and the things that go into making that possible, and it's such a great event that I just could not make it. We had a terrible a thing that we're all aware of at Chiefland Elementary yesterday, but I do have to say that I commend the superintendent and the administration of the way it was handled so swiftly and correctly, and I support their actions, and just a terrible event that, was very unfortunate, but it was handled well, and so I think that was good. The drama club at Chiefland Middle High School, they have a play, and it's starting this weekend. It's going to be a great event. They put so much into that, and rehearsal and practice. So if you can, you don't have anything, it'd be great if you would attend the play this weekend at Chiefland Middle High School. And that's all I have. If there's not any other comments or anything, then our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.